So I started off with Obama, waiting for my clearances. Very thorough process. Got to go to Switzerland. I lost my phone. That was no story. Went to Peru. That was fun. But then it all led up into, got checked out and found out that mission capable anymore.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Slum Dog Millionaires. Today, we have our awesome friend, Thomas Presley. He is such an interesting person. So that is why we wanted to make sure that he was one of our first episodes in our interviews. You've done so much in your life. It's insane. You talk about things and we're like, what? Yeah. How to have started in that. So I'm really excited about this interview and to hear more and learn more about your current business, because it's such an important part of life that a lot of people think that they can't afford or don't even think that they need. And you're so good at kind of giving the information without making it too sad, except for that time that you made me cry.
Yeah, you are definitely equally as interesting as the Dos Equis guy. So
yes,
if not more. So Kayla and I both are subscribers. Yeah. And we're both subscribers to your business. And it was very helpful and informative for our families and very important. And I think that the information that you have is extremely important for many people too, especially real estate investors. Ways to mitigate liability, ways to protect your family, ways to take care of your family if you're not here. So that being said, we would love to hear a little bit about your background and how you got into your business. And then we'll expose a little bit more about that.
Yeah, most certainly. Yeah. So born and raised in Oregon, was a varsity football captain, varsity wrestling captain, sang in choir for about 8 years. That was kind of like the social norm over there. And then I cooked culinary arts. Family had a restaurant equipment business growing up, so got to be in a lot of kitchens, got to meet a lot more people. Went to college on an went to college on an academic scholarship for 1 year, and then decided to join the Marine Corps. Best decision of my life. It was a great way to learn more. Even though I was a captain before, doesn't mean you know everything in life. And even now, I still don't know everything. But got to have more of, I guess, leadership experience. And I think that's what kind of paved the roadway for me to be where I'm at today.
And you went far in the Marine Corps.
I did.
You did a lot.
I did. I was a class leader. I used to do military police in the Marines. So I was a class leader for that. Was great. It was a great way to learn, especially when it comes into peers. And then went over to Okinawa, Japan, where I lived for 2 years. I was a part of a field unit. Got to go to Korea. Got to go to the Philippines. 21st birthday was on lockdown due to international conflicts. So it was a 21st birthday to remember. It was far different than I would imagine. But long story short, got selected to do presidential helicopter security for HMX.
Which is so cool.
Cannot be anything. Yeah. Like, I don't have that on my wrist.
And we need to know all the secrets. Push that button and you're like,
I was like, do it. And I was like, no. But no, so I started off with Obama. So that's when I learned more about the mission, what it took, waiting for my clearances, the very thorough process. So I got to learn more about that. Got to travel around the United States, and even got to go to Hawaii. I was underneath President Trump, where I also won NCO of the Year for the squadron. Got a couple Navy and Marine Corps achievement medals from it. But got to do missions. Yeah, got to go to Switzerland. That was great. Got to snowboard down the Swiss Alps.
Oh, wow.
I lost my phone. That was no story. Went to Peru. That was fun. Mission got canceled mid-flight. But then it all led up into, I was taking a lot of ibuprofen for anti-inflammatory things. And my supervisor asked, why are you taking all those things? And I said, well, the doctor, naval medicine's not the greatest. Had an injury, and that's the reason why I was taking it. And he said, well, hey, did you get any imaging on it? You should really get checked out. So then I eventually got checked out and found out that mission capable anymore. So I went through that process, finally found out that I couldn't re-enlist and had a month to figure out what I was going to do in life. Already was a cop. So then was a cop down over in Southwest Florida for about 4 years. Love serving the community, love giving back to the community. Community is my biggest thing in life. Hip surgery, which was a hip scope, came back and still recovering to this day. So working to tie my shoes, put on my socks. But I just take that in life and kind of give it back and educate others about that, because who would have known one day that I would have taken for granted being able to do those little things in life. Forehead says otherwise, but that's okay. I usually wear a hat.
Great. I know. I found out today that I am older than you.
Wow.
And you look younger. So then there we go.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, so then transitioned out of being a police officer, really trying to find my way, got my life insurance license, and was floating around and eventually got connected with Modern Woodmen of Fraternal. financial and love the core morals, ethics, and values and how they help out.
Great.
And from the community aspect, because that was really the thing I miss, not missing anymore because I do a lot within the community and look forward to doing more. But that was kind of how I found this organization that prioritizes philanthropy.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic organization. I think that it's a great fit for you, and it's a really great fit for so many people. And the way that they operate the business is so different than other life insurance companies. So we would definitely love for you to expand more on that and why they are so different and how that really is important.
And everything they cover, because it's not just life insurance. There are other aspects of it too. So can you go into a little bit about everything that you guys do cover and how it all works?
Yeah, founded in 1883 for the woodmen up north. So it was based on the need for widows and orphans. Then life expectancy was around 25 to 30, which there was a large need for those left at home. A group of gentlemen got together, created this organization, and they kind of just snowballed from there.
Sharon, basically in the beginning, that they were giving back to the families, or how did that?
So it was meant for them. So they got together. It's kind of in the weeds, not really able to talk about it too much. But
really
so it was just meant for the needs of widows and orphans. That's the reason why nowadays we do have orphan benefits and we have newborn benefits, where it guarantees that insurability, which really helps families. The widows, the orphans, the student scholarships, which are really nice as well. Fraternal aid fund, where it helps bridge that gap as you're going through a natural disaster. Well, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Well, you got to cut back on things, and you never want that to be life insurance. So we make sure that there's something in place to make sure that our members are taken care of. It's truly just the community helping the community. And then we're able to do a lot of events out in the community because we like to support nonprofit. So that's why you see me at all these other events.
No, you guys are everywhere.
Yeah, you
do
are.
so much for the community. It's awesome.
And thank you so much for your support. Even our kids' school, fantastic, a Title I school. To see you there at the events, it makes a big difference for them, a huge difference. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and even like one of the things, it's a small thing, but it's the small things in life that can make the biggest differences.
Exactly.
The reason why I became a cop is I met a cop and he had a sticker badge, and that made the biggest impact I've ever had on my life. I think I see the back of a cop car the other day for good reasons, not bad reasons, but just clean record. But it's those small things. So like when I'm able to give out these either small scholarships, these small grants, or even something as simple as like a balloon, a jump. I love the jump.
In everybody's house. They love, the kids go crazy for those.
Well, it's also a great way to like bridge that gap. It's also very low cost items. Like, it's crazy to think that not everyone's ever had like a jump rope in their life.
I know.
Yeah.
Even older folk, more mature, they haven't had a jump rope. They don't know how to jump rope. So you got little Jimmy teaching mom or dad how to do it. And so it's a great together experience.
Yeah.
So we've given a lot of jump ropes. I believe I personally gave out around 10,000 last.
Not surprised.
A lot of boxes. The garage was full. I got a few jump ropes left. I'm getting a couple from a buddy, but it's a good way to give back. But it made an impact for you guys learning about it, seeing about it too. So it's those small things that can slowly build up, and even giving them to the school too, because you never know.
Yeah, they're in newer school, so they don't have a lot of resources. So it was fantastic.
Yeah, so I mean, I personally grew up not the most well off either. So like, I truly like when it comes into knowing the value of something.
You appreciate the small things.
Camping was a form of vacation because it was free. The only time we ever traveled out of the state was on our vacation to visit cousins in Montana, and love them to this day. Love Montana. If I could deal with the cold, I'd be there, but I can't, so I won't.
Right.
But it's those small things. So we don't want to make sure that not having those funding wouldn't help out when it comes to families.
Yeah, that's awesome. So amazing.
Yeah, and if you could talk a little bit about maybe some portions of your presentation that go into. So I feel like in the U.S., in the educational system, there is a huge lack for financial education. And I feel like a lot of what you're doing is just doing that. And that is key, because many people don't even think about these things. It's not in their vocabulary. They don't even know about them until they talk.
Yeah, a firm believer in education is over half the situation. Educating is probably the biggest thing. Also of great value. So regardless if you have a financial plan or not, I think it's great to meet with someone like myself. I would love that. But just to expand upon it, because we talk about protection, savings, retirement planning, retirement distribution, estate planning, business planning, and employee benefits. Then we also have our own benefits too, if that makes sense for you to be a member. Let's hey, let's utilize that, facilitate that to better you and your family. So even just from the simplicity of protection, like what does protection mean to you? We get into it. Do you have protection? Have you had protection before in the past? Do you know how many times someone buys life insurance in their lifetime? It's about 7 times.
Really?
So I hope this one, it's meant for different soul intended purposes and reasons. So there's things that can start as when you're a child all the way up until your grandma and grandpa's age. When it comes into the final expense planning space, it's meant for a soul intended purpose and reason. And there's ways to bridge that gap and be proactive when it comes to your plan. I talk a lot about them into the youth and the kids because it's a great way to guarantee that insurability. I think what the country's doing, the nation's doing when it comes into mental health is great, but it's not helping out our kids when it comes to that insurability standpoint. I've had to decline a few instances of mental health where their parents didn't even know because it was just in the school system. I'm glad they're getting the support that they do need, but it's just unfortunate. So if they had something like a juvenile life insurance before, guaranteeing insurability up until the age of 30, which you never know where life takes you.
And I think your program is great too, because it is kind of like almost like a mandatory savings plan if you don't end up using it. And yeah, you can roll it back in, or you can use that money for something else once you get it back if you didn't utilize your program. And if you do have to utilize it, you have very extensive coverage and extensive options for different types of people and different types of situations, which I thought was really good.
And talk about that a little bit, where if it's not used, it gets rolled over. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so there's different plans, and so there's different options. There's a plethora of different options. So there's juvenile life insurance term, there's just term life insurance, there's universal life, there's whole life, and there's index universal life. We'll talk about the term today. It's the most cost effective. But we also have a return of premium rider that not every organization has.
Right.
So that's kind of the thing that we're talking about. It's a great way, especially if we're more healthy. It's a great way to get all that money back at the end of that 20 or 30 years. And then what do you do with that lump sum? Are we looking at long-term care at that point in time? What about if we want to convert that into a whole life or universal life? We have those abilities. And the biggest thing is we're also locking in our insurability today.
Right.
Because we're only usually as healthy as we are today.
Right.
My story with you, it's like
It's okay.
I talk about it all the time, but I appreciated it so much because first off, I come from a family where life insurance and planning anything financially, education, it just wasn't a thing, right? It wasn't. I come from a very low income family. So every dollar, every penny was to survive. So, and that is not how I live today, thankfully. So it's like when I talk to you about life insurance, I think I had like 100,000 in life insurance or something like that. And you started asking me those questions. And I mean, we sat on the phone, I would say in total, like 5-6 hours of just you asking me all the questions. I'm like, okay, well, if you were to die, how are they going to pay those bills? How are you going to, and stays at home with the kids. Thank God. I guess Francis, he's an amazing father, an amazing partner. I'm on the phone with Thomas, and I'm like, first we start with the kids swinging on the swing, and I'm like, the kids are screaming. I'm on the phone with Thomas. He's asking me all of these crazy questions. I'm like, what happens if this happens? But it just opened my eyes of all these things that I didn't plan for when I was a kid, and my parents didn't plan for. And what actually made me talk to you was my dad unexpectedly passed away, financial burden, and God forbid that was to happen to my family if I was to die in a car accident tomorrow. But you really helped me, plan for them, where it's like, if I passed away or if Francis passed away, I know that they would be okay, having enough to pay off the houses and be able to survive without Francis having to put my kids in daycare and turn their life completely upside down while they also lost their mother. And that means a lot to me because, again, it's just things that we didn't talk about when I was a kid or plans to guide me in that direction. It was just that my dad passed away and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want this to happen to my family. And then the phone call with you was just bananas because we literally had to hang up like 6 times. One of them, I swear, fell in a trash can. I don't even know how that, but you were so patient with me. And now we're great friends. And it's just such an awesome thing that I think a lot of people think they can't afford when realistically they can't afford it. It is not that expensive. Yeah. And it is so important because you don't know if you're going to make it home today, tomorrow, or the next day. You don't plan to pass away. Most people, it's just so important.
Yeah. No, I mean, even you never know. Like,
you never know.
Our fastest death claim we've had in Southwest Florida was 8 minutes since signing of the life insurance policy. I'm glad he had the protection in place.
Yeah.
A lot of people are very underinsured. About 90% of Americans are underinsured when it comes into what they would actually need. That's not even wants either. We work with wants, but affordability is usually the biggest thing. I like to tell people that's a lot because it can, don't get me wrong. Like I can divulge a plan and I can spend hours on it and it's got all these different gadgets and gizmos. But deep down, what are we trying to do? What are we trying to achieve? Oh, hey, I just need protection for my family. And how much would that be? And we walk you guys through those processes just like we did. And then we come up to how much is that? And how much would that peace of mind help? And okay, well, is that, and can that fit in our budget? Do we have to reduce that? Because we never want it to come off. That never looks good for anyone, myself, y'all selves. The biggest thing is, well, can we start at a lower amount? Like even if it's $50,000.
Yeah.
And maybe it's $10, $15, $20 a month, depending on age and health conditions. And those are variables, but it's a great start. And then from there, you get all the member benefits as well. And that's great. Kind of like before, we were talking about going to the Ruskin drive-in movie theater.
Yeah.
That's super fun. But we do small things like that. And they might make the biggest of impact, but maybe for that family that can only get that very small policy and that coverage. And then they get to take their family out for a night on the town and they don't have to worry about it. It's kind of, I love hosting people. I love showing people because I've had my own dark days and we all go through ups and downs and lefts and rights. But if the world could stand still for 2 hours of time, 1 hour of time, and you kind of get escape reality.
It's very precious. Very precious.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
And then again, with your program, there's a factor where you get to donate a portion of your back to the community, which we thought was really fantastic.
I forgot about it. And
I remind you, I was
like, to go to, and I'm like,
yeah, the amount of times I actually remind people from the actual like practicality of
which is amazing that you guys, just pocket that money.
No, so member owned. So that's the nice thing too. So like when it comes down to when it comes to your financial professional or who you use for life insurance, like what the biggest difference between us and them is, well, I'm not in this for money. Like,
you care.
I truly do care. So when it comes in, it gives back to the members in our community and student scholarships and fraternal aid funds and relief fund. That's what really makes that impact and really stretches that dollar for some individuals. Love taking care of high-end individuals, but I love what those vacations never came.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we come from.
Those free lunches.
Right.
Yeah.
Gosh, those free lunches.
Well, and how interesting is it for you that you get this bird's eye view of so many different people's situation and everybody's in a different boat? I don't think you've probably seen two people that are even remotely similar, which is so cool. Like, and you're getting, a very intimate view of people's finances and retirement planning and life planning and, trusts and wills and all the things. It's to know like a lot of people are set up or structured in a way that is safe for their family or their investments or their things. So I think that what you're doing is really critical, especially for investors like ourselves, just being able to give this extra level of protection for our families, for ourselves, just so much more peace of mind. So I think that what you're doing is very, very.
Yeah, even when Kayla introduced me, like interesting. Well, no,
you are interesting.
It's a great word to use. I love it because what's your definition of normal? It's very subjective.
Right.
So like when I was a cop and when I was in the Marine Corps and doing presidential helicopter security, like you would never run into the same person 2 times.
No.
Everyone's different. Their life story is different.
Yeah.
I will never say I know what you're going through because I don't.
Right.
But you don't know what people are going through in life. So understanding from being a cop, from going into the ghetto or whatever you would like to call it, lower income housing, and seeing their situation and talking to them and being able to effectively communicate and then talking to other individuals from being over in Mar-a-Lago and being up at Bedminster at the cottage. Then you deal with Secret Service and other affluent individuals. So I got a very well-rounded approach and even back from my history. But when it comes to meeting with people, I guess it gives me an advantage just because I'm in the people business.
Person. You are. You absolutely are. And we love you for that. And it's fantastic. And it is interesting. Like the three of us also, like we realized the other day too, like we all lost our fathers when we were young and like have this, common bond together. And it's so interesting. And knowing that we do not want to be this situation for our family.
I think one of the bigger things is that we're also normalizing it by having a conversation about it.
Yeah. Nobody would know. We didn't know that before we.
Well, no one likes to talk about it.
It's
something
like,
that needs
it could be uncomfortable.
Yeah, like exactly.
Conversation.
But it's something that does need to be talked about and does need to be addressed. And you do have to plan for things. Definitely when you have families or you have people who rely on you. It's important, if you.
Yeah. And I think even the aspect that you're discussing with people about, wills and trusts, people don't understand that too. and they don't know about all these options, and they don't know that, especially if you have children, like you need to have both of these items, not just one.
Yes.
It's not enough. And you need to be able to protect your kids from going to, child services or foster.
Yeah.
In the state of Florida, especially.
I went through probate with my dad. He owns one property, he owned one car, and our probate took over a year and a half.
Yeah.
It was
probate.
And it's such an ugly process. Everything about it, not only is it timely, costly, but it is just downright an ugly process when people are trying to go after your dead family members.
Yeah. No, it's sad. It's not a fun
It's
situation.
not something that anyone should have to go through.
Nobody needs probate. Yeah.
No, and it's very time consuming.
Yeah.
And while you're already grieving going through this process, so it's going to
It makes it so much worse.
prolong it. But that's why you also do kind of like financial checkpoints.
Yeah.
Making sure everything is up to date. You move from out of state into the state of Florida. Hey, do you know there's different rules and regulations? Yes, there are.
People don't
Did you
know.
update your estate plan? Explain that for you. Also, when you buy a new house or plural houses, did you update your estate plan? Did you also update your life insurance? Do you have enough when you have a new kid, new life into this world? Fantastic. Also, special needs. Do we have special need children? Do you know they cost 2.5 times the amount of a normal child would in a lifetime? And there's different trusts and different things set up for that too. So it's not a blank slate. It's up to interpretation.
Right. And everybody, like you're saying, everyone's situation is so different. So I really appreciate the thought and the time that you put into each person's, specific plan and planning. I think that you do a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't love on it enough.
Yeah.
Because it is really, really special what you do. And you're doing a great service to the community. I think anybody who encounters you is going to have a wonderful time, first of all. And secondly, like they're going to get their lives together. And that is really, really key. And especially for any of our investors that are listening or people who are trying to get into this realm. Yeah, once you make it, you're still not there. You still need to make sure it's all in order or else it can all come crumbling. So I think what your message and your education that you're giving is very, very special.
Yeah, no, education is truly over half the effort, what you do with it. I mean, I'm also an accountability partner too. Like, hey, and I follow most members on social media, check in, but like what new life happenings are in your life? Gotcha. Hey, have we updated things? So instead of being reactive or waiting for someone to give me a call, like
they're not thinking about it. They're just living their lives.
People also, other financial professionals, they stay in their own lane.
Yep.
With assets under management, and that's okay. How we deal with the holistic approach, because at the end of the day, I might not get paid for everything that I do. It's not all about money in this life.
Right.
Because when we're no longer here, well, hopefully we set up the protection and everything, but you can't take your money with you.
That's true.
So like it fills the heart. So I like to do things that fill the heart, and if they come through and take care of me monetarily, I love that.
We hope a lot of people will reach out to you after this.
Yes.
And we hope that they find this just as interesting as we did.
And we will have Thomas's contact information at the bottom of our podcast. So anyone can reach out to him that needs it, and you all need it.
And now we're ready for the hard questions. So, yeah. On our podcast, we have a couple questions that we usually ask everyone, which is when you're 45 and if you can strive and thrive and become 45 and retire, what would you do?
I'd prioritize my health. I'm trying to prioritize my health now. It's one of the things that's affecting me today. Looking forward to tying my shoe and putting on my socks in the future. And I hope it's tomorrow. And if not, it's going to be the next day. And it's the next day. Right. But kind of just prioritize that, take care of that, and spend more time with family. We recently just rescued a dog as well. So be more involved with nonprofits, even hopefully starting my own nonprofit, do a lot with veterans. So try being more involved within my community that are also being in the schools, because at that time, hopefully we'll have a whole bunch of little kiddos, right? Yeah, all that fun stuff. 17, save the date.
Yep, save the date. Kenzie is a one.
We'll add our address and presents. But no, it's going to be a great time. So we're going to have a location for 5 days. We'll be giving back 2 of the days to our community veterans. So it's going to be a great time. So I really do look forward to it.
Well, and you're making our podcast so easy because our next segue is always into which charity would you like to shed some light on, and how can Kayla and I help, either an ask of financial support or volunteer support or whatever it may be.
Yeah. One of the nonprofits I love to work with, I don't even know how I got affiliated with them originally. SRQ Vets, they hosted a 5K Memorial Day hike. So nonprofits, SRQ Vets, but the camaraderie, went through life happenings, had a divorce, but but I felt lost. And I wish I knew about some of these programs and resources so I didn't have to feel as lost. Like a lot of veterans feel when they do transition out. It's not a great procce, if being completely transparent.
Yeah. I've heard that before.
And then it's also dependent on what branch you're in as well. But they do a great job of helping veterans, whether it's just coming together, doing events, but they more so like to give back to those veterans that are restricted. So they help build ramps, fortunately. So if you see a vet, thank them for your service and shake their hand.
Absolutely.
So they do things like that. We just had a SRQ Vets cornhole tournament. It's the second annual. This past weekend, it was a blast. I can't play to save my life, but it was a good time. So they host events and stuff like that. It's great for the community. But then they also take donations of cars, and then they gift it to those individuals that they have their life together. But the one thing they're missing is transportation. They would like to see they would like to pick up their kids from school. They want to drive to and from work. Like those are the things that we just don't have the opportunity for. So thankfully we have a gracious community. If you guys do have any cars in the area, listeners, it doesn't have to be new. Just gotta be.
We know lots of people,
reliable.
so we'll do our best.
Yeah. So that's great. And it always goes to great people, great causes, and they also help out when it comes into like electricity bills, water bills. It's not a hey, we're just gonna give you this money anyways. Say I'm not even part of the board. I'm just passionate what I do. Yep. They just help enough where it doesn't string them along, but helps them out throughout the process. But they're not relying upon. Yeah,
and life happens, and we see that with our residents all the time, and we see them struggle. And so anytime there is a helping hand that can get them back on track, it really does make a huge impact on them and their families, and getting them the support. And they don't need it. It's not like they need it for every single month. They just need it that one time to just get them out of the little situation, little hiccup that they got into. So we really appreciate that.
Near and dear to my heart. They do a lot, and I look forward to doing more and more with them. Their organization also partners with other nonprofits too. So I told you about their mission, but it's not like they just stay in their lane. Kind of like people like myself, they just have an open heart.
Yeah, and you hear about something and then you want to deal with it. Well, we love that. So yeah, this is great. Well, thank you so much for coming. You are probably one of our most favorite special guests. I can't probably say that, but you are. We love you.
Until the next recording.
No,
don't watch the end of the other recording. But thank you very much for your time.
Yeah,
and we really appreciate everything you do for your community, for your family, for us. It's very important what you're doing.
Let's make an impact, and guys, make sure don't wait until it's too late, y'all.
Yep. So thank you for watching this very informative, very special interview here with Thomas Presley. Thank you to our Slum Dog Millionaire crew. We really appreciate your love and support, and we hope that you will make a big impact in your community as well. That's a wrap on another episode of Slum Dog Millionaires. If you're ready to turn dreams into dollars, smash that follow button and join us every week for more money moves and mindset magic. Don't forget to give back to your local community. Until next time, keep grinding, keep growing, and remember, your empire starts with one smart decision. Huge gratitude shout out to our production team at Icons of Real Estate.